So got a new build we starting. 2010 5th gen Camaro. It's a manual LS3. I had picked it up for a pretty decent deal. It had dropped a piston in it, but the body's nice. It was low mileage, 61,000 miles. So I decided it was worth fixing up, building it. Wanted to go the supercharger route. Probably go with East Coast supercharger. It's gonna be a Pro Charger. It's got Nitto tires on it. They're all fairly new. Got a short block in the shed. Gonna start throwing it together. Under the hood, it's completely empty. Engine's pulled out of it. Gonna be putting a McLeod RST clutch in it, rated for 800 horsepower. Really only gonna be shooting for about 650 is the number I want to go for. It does already have coilovers in it. It's the 1SS package, so it's not crazy fancy on the inside, but it's real clean for what it is. It's got a short shifter already. Be a good car to build. It's gonna be fun, but it's also really dirty. It's been sitting here while the engine went to the machine shop and all that stuff, but we're gonna start throwing it together. It's not perfect, got a couple dents, mainly on this side. I'm not too sure what happened, but other than that, the body's in really good condition. I need to clean it. It looks a lot better when it's washed. Inferno orange. So back in the shop, we got the short block, and everything that was done to this is it's still got stock crankshaft, but it's got forward rods and pistons, and the pistons are -12 dish pistons. It's gonna be about, I'd have to redo the calculation to be exact, but it should be around 9.9 to 1 compression ratio. Gonna be going the boost route, wanting to go with a Pro Charger or something, but as of now, it's just gonna go in like this and then go boost in the future. But it's gonna be getting a BTR Stage 1 supercharger cam, and then everything's gonna be new. Putting new lifters, melon oil pump. It's got the dual valve springs for the heads for the cam package. And this here isn't the stock block. I have the stock block here. It cracked the number 4 piston, and then when I brought it to the machine shop for them to put a sleeve in it, when they bored it out, it was cracked internally, so wasn't able to use that block, unfortunately. Shop's a bit of a mess, but don't have a whole lot left to do. Just I got one head left to assemble that, then everything on this table is just top end parts, but majority of everything's gonna be new. Not really reusing a whole lot of stuff. Bit of a mess in here though right now. I got all under there, just a totally separate engine, just stuff under there for now until this is done. I'm able to get some time to clean everything up. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and install a camshaft. I'm gonna put the timing chain, oil pump, and then everything for the bottom as well, just so I could put the oil pan on, help keep it covered up. And this is BTR Stage 1 centrifugal supercharged camshaft. And when you buy them brand new, they come with like a rust preservative. So I've already cleaned this one and lubed it up, but I'm gonna add some more lube to it and go ahead and stick it in. Lube is always your friend. And then I like to use the Lucas Assembly Lube, and then I also use lubricate grease. The grease helps if you're not gonna be building everything in a day or two and slapping the engine in. The oil type assembly lube will actually, it'll like start to fall out of the bearings and stuff, and then I just find the grease helps stay a lot better. And it slides in nice and easy. I'm gonna add a little bit more to the back here since I didn't really catch it. But I like to use the grease just because I'm not building this in a day. It's going to take a couple weeks for me to put it together with time, having a full-time job, just messing with it whenever I get home from work. And everything's sliding in nice and easy. I like to check, make sure none of these bearings are going to bind up when I get towards the end. This part is be the hardest part. Last little section. And she's in. Spins nice and smooth. It's not hanging up anywhere. Nice and loose and lubed. That's how it should be. So the camshaft and the retaining plate are both installed. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna install the tensioner, and then I'm gonna put the timing chain and the cam sprocket on, set the timing. Setting the timing is gonna be fairly easy, and get to that in a second, but I'm gonna install the tensioner first. Now we're gonna go ahead and set the timing. You're gonna want to put your number one piston at top dead center, and there's gonna be a dot on your lower sprocket on your crankshaft. It's gonna be pointing directly up. Then on your camshaft, you're gonna want your pin on a 3 o'clock to your right side. And then when you get your cam sprocket, you're gonna have a line right here. It's gonna be pointing directly down, and your pin's gonna be facing to the right. And just got a GM timing chain, nothing fancy. Already lubed it up. Not doing no double timing chain or anything crazy on this build. So you want to point your pin to the right. Get it on that bottom shaft. So I'm actually going to take a small little pick to hold the timing chain tensioner from pushing while I'm installing. You just slip it through. It's going to hold the tensioner back while trying to install your cam sprocket. And again, you're going to want your pin is going to be on the right side. So you have your cam sprocket, pin's gonna be on the right side, and you're gonna have a dot that's gonna be pointing down, and then on your camshaft, you're gonna have one pointing up. And it's gonna be on the number one piston at top dead center. should be able to slip it right on there. Like that. And then I'm gonna leave my little pick in, I'm gonna get my bolts on there, and then I'm gonna pull my pick out, and it should tighten up the chain. And now you can pull your pick out and make sure your two alignment marks still meet up, which has turned a little bit on me. So that's, bring it back. And we are pointing on the crankshaft, the dot's up, camshaft, the dot's down, and your number one cylinder is at top dead center. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and install my oil pump. It's a Melly, it's a high volume, but it is going to have a little bit more pressure than stock. It's going to be about, should be around 15 psi more than factory. Go ahead and slip this on. And now we could spin it over and put the windage tray on, put our pickup tube, and install our oil pan after we put the front cover on. But I'm not going to put the oil pan on because I still got to put the rear cover on. So pretty much we're going to put the windage tray and the oil pickup. So we're now going to go ahead and just install our windage tray and our pickup tube. I want a new pickup tube just because the old one had a bunch of junk in it. But go ahead and install this. Lube our O-ring up. It's very important to make sure that you don't pinch this O-ring because it could cavitate and you won't get good oil pressure. So you have to make sure not to pinch the O-ring when installed. So you can go ahead and get it started. And then I did upgrade to ARP studs instead of bolts, so it makes it a little bit easier to install. So I can slip it on, it's in the studs, and it's not going to move as I tighten it up.